Well, guys, here we go. The event we've been talking about for several days is upon us, and we already have severe thunderstorm warnings out right now for part of our viewing area. Right now, the storms are not in any part of that area, but we're going to definitely start taking a look at radar, and we're going to be diving down deep into all this stuff. We may be here for a little while. The good thing is once this line of storms gets through us on the backside of it, it's not going to be severe. It's one of those deals where the main line comes through. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into looking at the radar. So right now, let's go ahead and get into it. We are looking live at radar here from High Top in Alabama. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings out for Moore and Franklin counties right now. No severe thunderstorm warnings are out yet for Coffee County, in particular Tullahoma, just yet. Got a feeling that that may change soon. We've got a pretty nasty storm that's right here just north of Petersburg that's really going to probably wreak some havoc here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of read what we're really going to have to be watching for, especially here on this severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm really kind of taking a look at the one that Huntsville has issued, and right now it's got a tornado possible tag on it. So that's something we're going to have to definitely really pay close attention to, guys. And so if you're here, the best thing you can do is share this out, let people know what's going on. A lot of times, you guys are the meteorologist. You are the weather people at your house that people get weather information from. So this is one of those where we know it's coming. For them to already issue a warning that is way far out in advance, the environment's right for it. Looking off screen here at just some different kind of indices to say, hey, what kind of environment are these storms living in? And they are definitely living in environments that can be sustained. And as you can start to see right now, this is moving over into a bulk shear of at least 60. So, yeah, these things are going to be sustained. So, what we want to do is we kind of want to pinpoint where the worst of the storm is and likely where that's going to be headed. So, I'm going to go ahead and go over to velocity. Um, and we can kind of see, actually, let me do this. I'm going to go over to storm relative velocity and kind of see what we're looking at here. Make sure I'm at Huntsville site. And so you've got what seems to be, let me go back over here. You definitely have got some broad rotation, um, just because you've got a lot of greens and reds together here. Nothing that's anything that's super tight yet. But we've got winds in this area that could be pumping at 60 miles an hour, and we also have an inch size hail. So enough wind damage and enough hail damage to wreak havoc on us all for our cars and our roofs. So we're going to have to just definitely keep a really close eye on it. Hail, I would say we're going to be looking at these areas of the purple to say that's where our hail core is likely in these storms. I'm also seeing that this storm is wanting to take a little bit of an inflow right here. This notch is a little bit concerning, to be honest with you. And I'm going to zoom down here for just a minute and see kind of where that's at. Yeah, we're going to be talking right there at that Chestnut Ridge area. Right, basically, it's going to be towing the line of Bedford and Moore counties right this second. And so, let's go back to velocity for a minute. I'm starting to see where that inflow is coming in. Nothing, like I said, is super concerning right this very second, but something that we're going to have to keep a watch out as these storms get here. So, right now, we've actually got nothing going on in the area. None of these storms have reached any of the viewing area yet, but they are creeping on our doorstep. And so, well, there you have it. So, that's just kind of a overall idea of what's going on. Let's go ahead and start thinking about. Oh yeah, you're gonna see people walking in. It's that time of the afternoon. I mean, I still have my badge on from work here, okay? So if you hear babies and stuff in the background, hey, that's what you're gonna get with me. So We getting home, and this is it's just a horrible time. It's when everybody's getting off work, they're getting kids, they're traveling places. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. So let's go ahead and just let's look at a storm track here on this. Looks like it's taken this most severe part of the storm, maybe taking a little bit more of a northern track away from us, just ever so slightly. But let me go ahead real quick and do a storm track because that's going to be the next thing that you want to know. When is it going to hit my area? And so it's moving east at 60. Oh boy, it's definitely cooking. So let me go ahead and do a storm track. Let's make sure I'm in the right mode here. Yep, and I need to change that to 60. So, given its current state, okay, at 60 miles an hour, if it stays on that track, and we're going to go kind of right here and then here. Oh, it didn't let me draw it. Hang on a minute. There we go. Let's draw this thing now. Here, here, and really, let's go here to the top of that. And we're going to go east. And let's see what we're looking at here. So this would be the time track here if this stays on its current trend where we could see that severe winds. So here in Moore County, you'd be at Lynchburg right downtown at 350. Jack would be there at 349. County line as you're going up State Route 82, the Flat Creek area toward Flat Creek, that'd be at 349. So pretty much everything's at 350. Raysville, Cumberland Springs, my old stomping grounds. We'd be at 352, 353. And then as we keep going over here into Center Grove, it'd be here at 358. Tullahoma, right smack dab there where Jackson meets Lincoln, you'd be at 358. And then basically 4 o'clock. And then Pleasant Grove would be 4 o'clock. Winchester Springs would be 401. Estill Springs would be 404. So we're just talking just a little bit after 4 o'clock here. That present track kind of takes it just a little bit north of Winchester, just so you guys know. Winchester is really not included. It's basically, it's almost right there where Stam McNabb Dodge is, right there at 127. Well, no, actually, it's a little bit beyond that. It's probably where I would say right where Kroger is, right? Yeah, just south of Kroger. There we go. So basically, Dollar General is the cutoff line. There you go. Well, that should be anywhere in Tennessee, shouldn't it? Dollar General. And so now we get out toward, closer toward the plant, Nissan and all that. And so we're looking at Arnold Village. This would include you guys definitely. Duncantown at 409, Capitol Hill, not Washington, D.C. at 408, Penny Hill at 409, Gum Creek. Now we're getting toward eastern Franklin County here. So Gum Creek would be 411. Oak Grove, that Highway 64 corridor as it's going toward Pelham, that would be at 412. Alto would be 414. And then we're getting over into parts of Coffee County. The Air Force Base is at 407. So we're looking at about the next 15 to 20 minutes if this thing holds true. Okay. So somebody said, what does Cowan look like? You can see where Cowan's at. It's south of the line. So nothing down there is severe thunderstorm warned. Everything basically is Kroger at Winchester and north. There is a special weather statement out here. These storms do not look as mean, and I'm going to tell you why these storms look mean in our area and why they may continue to be. You guys that live in Tullahoma, did you notice the sun was out for a little while? I was telling my a buddy of mine, we're just going to be interesting to see what happens with these storms when they take off into this environment that's been under the sun for a little bit. So I'm going to go back over here and start looking at velocity. And still, it's not super impressive. I'm seeing that little notch of inflow right there. But again, that's Bedford County. That would be going up 231 towards Shelbyville. Really what I'm looking for is maybe that lower part of the storm. And so I'll go over storm relative velocity, see what we got going on here. Nothing that's superly impressive right now, just more consistent with severe winds. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go back to velocity. I'd like to see, let's put a gauge on some of this and see where maybe some of the winds are. And you're going to look at this and go, well, that doesn't look like severe thunderstorm winds. There's little pieces and pockets in here. So you look right there with these little pieces. Okay, so you got to fit like right in here. This is what you end up getting. Little pockets where you've got just to the southeast of Chestnut Ridge, you're looking at about a 54-mile-an-hour wind gust. You come back over here, you see another little speck of it, 58. That's going to warrant that severe thunderstorm warning. And it's going to do that. It's not necessarily this is going to be 58-mile-an-hour winds all the way across. It's going to pop off a really high wind gust, and then it's going to back off, and it's going to pulse, and it's going to back off, and it's going to pulse, and it's going to back off. And that's what these storms tend to be doing. So anywhere up in this line could definitely see a pulse of that storm or that wind, and there's no way the radar could pick up when that happens, because by the time it sweeps back around, it's missed it. That's how these severe thunderstorms kind of work in a linear fashion. So again, it's finally going right on the extreme western side of Moore County. Right here. And then as we get a little bit closer into Tullahoma, we'll be able to look at some cameras to see kind of what's going on. So I'm going to kind of work on that too while we're all together and see what's going on. Absolutely. Okay. So let's see if this will work. All right, let's go back over to the radar, see what's going on. Nothing really much has changed. It's going to be interesting. We've got this warning. This expires in 44 minutes. And so the question's going to be probably, is the National Weather Service, Nashville, going to go ahead and extend that warning off into Coffee County? Of course, when my NORWeather radio goes off behind me, you guys will be the first to know about it. And so we're just kind of in sitting and waiting mode right now. Impacts are going to be coming soon within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. And once this line, so everybody knows, once this line gets past us, everything on the back side of it looks to be fairly calm. That atmosphere is going to stabilize itself. And so I'm still looking down the line. We've got lots of here in northern Alabama. We had a lot of more discrete cells, which is going to be interesting to, it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening there. Those cells are looking more discrete than what's up here. We have more of a linear. This is really more of a kind of a multi-cell kind of deal with some embedded supercells. So again, we're just kind of looking here. I know it's going to be very repetitive. So, if you've just jumped in, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings that are out for Moore and Franklin counties. Basically, if you live in Moore County and Franklin County and you are at the lake in north, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. So Winchester proper is not in that severe thunderstorm warning. Broadview is not. Cowan is not. As you go back toward Huntland down here in the extreme southern side, southwest side of the county, they are not in it. So basically, it's almost for the northern half. So just think of pretty much where Kroger is in Winchester, and that's where that dividing line is, or right there where that red light is that you could drive off over to 64, where the Nissan plant is. Definitely taking a more of a bow up here toward the top. So as with each little radar scan, what I start looking at in this situation, where do you see bowing and where do you see these little undulations, as I call them, where there's a little bit of an updraft coming in right there. And you can see it's definitely because of the hail core. Kind of see some nastiness. That's just some artifact. That's probably not anything. But do you see where we start seeing some of this get really close together, like right here? And it's really, that's where we may start to see some of that rotation. That looks like any of that is going to go to the north of anywhere I cover. So if that stays on the present track, that's going to end up being more for parts of uh, more of woods reservoir than actually Tullahoma proper there. So that's something to kind of keep an eye out for, just to kind of see with that scan. And then anywhere up and down this line. So it's probably easier to see more in reflectivity mode, but anywhere that's going to be up and down this line, you may see a severe thunderstorm gust. It looks to be, if I had to say where the hail and the strongest part of the storm is, that is going to be right here almost as it's approaching 41A going into Shelbyville right now. That seems to be, the sweet spot right this very second. I'm gonna go back in here with storm relative velocity and see if I can't see anything else. Catch it with velocity. So both of those severe thunderstorm warnings, even for Bedford County, has that possible tornado tag in it. That's interesting right there, that particular cell, but that's a little bit north of us. So I hear thunder outside, so we know it's getting close. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of people in here just kind of monitoring. So again, it's again that section right there in that Bottle Hollow, which that's where the tornado touched down in December of 21, I believe. It started in that particular area. But anywhere you see a little bit of a bowing, that's the storm's way of kind of surging and pushing ahead. And so it's definitely got some strength. It's kind of what I said last night, kind of all coming together here right now. The good thing is, though, right now we do not have any active tornado warnings out, which is good. But we do have some tornado possible tags um, on these particular storms, which is never a good thing. That means that they're definitely seeing some rotation in the storm. And so another way we could probably look at those clouds if we head over. Be that meteorologist. I probably lost sound there, was talking. So let me go back to Wilson Avenue. Well, I try to mute some of the sound because somebody said I muted the sound. Well, I don't think sometimes this sound comes through and I don't think you want to hear all the cars. I would just say, hey, you're looking right here. Can I please cover McMinnville? No, I would love to, but I think Upper Cumberland Weather does a really good job for them. Um, that's who I would be following for McMinnville because that's up and down the Cumberland, and I just don't have the bandwidth being one guy to cover all of that. So I make that very well known where I can cover. But anyways, I went ahead and unmuted all the sound here, but definitely you see all the traffic. You know what Wilson Avenue is going to look like. And if we go back over to down. And so just checking it out again, definitely want to keep folks in the know. If you've got people that are coming home, definitely tell them, hey, in the next 30 minutes, it's going to be pretty rough. You guys just want to kind of keep mind of that, just because these storms, like I said, they're going to roll in. It's going to be pretty windy. I'm seeing kind of a resurgence right here. I'm noticing that this whole part of the storm right up here seems to be the most active of the storm. Um, which is going to be a little bit north of us. But storms, yeah, yeah, definitely. Got to be careful. That storm is wanting to rotate. Okay, it is showing signs of rotation, but not enough tight of a couplet that warrants a tornado warning. It's wanting to do something. So this would be my people. Just really get to extreme parts of Tullahoma going out toward Bedford County. Okay, so all my folks that are out that way, that would be just right north of you. Okay, and so any of that there that would be going over to Woods, you're probably looking in the next 10 minutes or so. So since I got a lot more people on here, let's take a second. Let's do a real quick storm track, okay? So these storms are still barreling at about, let's see here. I'm going to make sure, okay, moving east at 35. What's National Weather Service Huntsville saying? Moving moving east at 60 miles an hour. And so I think that the timing's off a little bit on this sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do another quick storm track. I need to turn that off and real quick here. So click, click. Is it going to let me do it? Hang on. There we go. So let's go ahead and do another storm track here. Here, 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 and then we're going to go east. I would say, so what do I have it set at? I have it set at 60 because that's what they said over here. It looks like this side may be speeding up. So this would be all points here. You can just see, where do you fall in the map? That's the easiest thing. I'll pull up over here, little timing like they do at the TV stations. And so Lynchburg, it's probably going to be on you here in the next 7 to 8 minutes or so. It's right at your doorstep now at 4:02. Flowertown, Ridgeville's 4:03. Jack would be 4:04. Tullahoma would be 4:04. Center Grove 4:04. Normandy 4:04. Loyce would be 4:05. Lake Hills 4:05. Taylor Creek. Now we're getting over here into the Estill side of things. That's going to be 4:10. The Air Force Base is at 4:11. And then we get more to Capitol Hill. That's getting more toward the eastern side of Franklin County. So that's going to be your present track. We could expect 60-mile-an-hour winds within this storm. There's also some hail that is likely. So let me go back over here. Let me pull up. That's a little bit old, but I would say any of these places that have the red, this hasn't updated itself yet. There we go. Perfect. That's great timing. So I would say that any of these places would likely have the hail, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross-reference reflectivity, and I would say anywhere kind of in this zone. Is it going to let me draw? Anywhere in this zone right here where you see the purples, that's probably where we're going to see the hail. It doesn't look to be as widespread. Normandy's getting pelted right now. If you can see, I'll move because I know my little graphics in the way. Normandy and Courtner Mill, that going up that area is getting pelted right now. That would probably be the area that I would be most suspicious of with the hail. And so I'm wondering I'm just kind of waiting for National Weather Service Nashville to see what they're going to do as far as issuing any kind of warning. So I'm so there definitely could be hail. I'm trying to get I didn't see that first comment there, Jeremy. It didn't, I guess it didn't go through. I don't see it on my end anyway. Hail, absolutely. Hail would be Likely up here, we do have little pockets of it. It looks to be maybe it's going to be more of a wind event. Just answered my question. There we go. My weather radio will go off here in just a minute. So, Tullahoma is now included in that severe thunderstorm warning, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some pretty ominous clouds. Are definitely in downtown Tullahoma. You can definitely see it up in the upper right hand corner. Actually, I believe I am looking at a shelf cloud right here. So that's telling me there's quite a bit of wind with this storm that's coming through. Basically, that shelf cloud is ahead of that storm, and that's just all the wind energy pushing through. So just know that we've got some severe wind probably headed our way. So let's go ahead real quick since Tullahoma is now in this. They've also issued that tornado possible tag, but I do believe that's going to be a little bit north of Tullahoma proper. But I would say my Lake Hills people would be the people that would be most in line for that. So this is the point now where you definitely start need to heeding some warnings and letting folks know if they're out there on the road. Okay. I'm going to try to get another look at this from Wilson Avenue's camera to see what I can see. I don't really think I can see anything from that vantage point. The trees are blocking my vantage point for just a minute. But I will go back real quick, and so you can see that shelf cloud. You can see it, and you can actually see the rain shaft of rain that is behind that. So that is the leading edge of that storm coming right into Tullahoma very, very, very soon. And that same cloud is going to be in parts of Raysville, Pleasant Hill, Lynchburg. You guys are right next in line for this as this storm is pushing to the east. So again, 60-mile-an-hour winds with this, and also quarter-size hail and some of the strongest updrafts of the storm. So that would be parts where I would be. You just need to be looking for things that look like purple on my radar, and that's where that hail would be. Okay. All right. Now sometimes you just like hush, no weather radio. I already know what's going on. It's right in front of me. So yeah, definitely. Mm, That, like I said, yeah, that's just north. My Lake Hills people, I don't know if I know I've got people up there. That's still Tullahoma. That's the far reaches of our city limits. You are right just south of where that storm is wanting to rotate. And so I can't really see it there. I'll go back and see it with reflectivity. So I'm going to go back to radar here so you can see what's going on. Um, right here just above Lake Hills, that's where that storm is. You can see the inflow. It's trying to do something. Whether it actually does something, I don't know. But this storm definitely has taken more of a forward slant. So we're going to be definitely seeing some winds come into Tullahoma here in just a minute. It seems to be right over Lynchburg now. And definitely my Lynchburg people, my alma mater people, you've definitely got some DBZ returns that are purple. So there could be some hail that is inside of that. That's on State Route 129. So that's going out toward Boonville, right there where the garbage dump is. And then all up and down 55. Okay. And so that's where it's hitting right now. I know some people are asking about, I'll try to get to you when I can. But right now, we're looking more, like I said, Raysville. It's right on your doorstep, Lynchburg, basically almost the I-55, the Highway 55 corridor. Tullahoma, it's not quite there yet. Estill, you got a little bit of time. You've got at least about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so before it gets to you guys. And with them extending this warning, so I'm going to show you how far out that warning goes. Okay, that's telling you that this is in an environment. It's in an environment where these storms. Oh crap! I've got to look at this. What is going on down here? Sorry, when you zoom out, you get to see some things. So I'm just going to look at this for just a second, see what's going on there. Okay. The funny thing is, when you look at it on reflectivity, you go, "Ooh, it's trying to do something here," but it's not. It looks like the majority, really, honestly, the most severe part of the storm looks to be from about Manchester to Lynchburg, if you're looking at it diagonally. And so, like, again, This is a huge severe thunderstorm warning that they've gone ahead and done an hour out. And the reason being is that these storms are in an environment that will stay active. We've got very high wind shear, which means we've got some wind that is really pumping. That's why these storms are kind of moving through fairly quickly. I do want to kind of mention this. Nobody's asked, but Murfreesboro folks, you never really were under a severe thunderstorm warning. My people up there with MTSU for the game tip offs in about another hour and 30 minutes or so. Got some heavy rain. Some of you guys, if you're watching me online and you guys are on the way to Murfreesboro right now, if you are, I mean, hopefully at this point, you would need to be almost to the northern point, kind of getting toward the Beech Grove area. Anything south of that is where you're going to get nailed from about Manchester right there at the 111 exit, pretty much all the way up into Busy Corner and beyond. That's really where you're going to start to see some really heavy rain bands. But again, looking at this storm, it's just barreling down right on us. Let me go ahead and take a look at velocity here. Nothing that's looking super impressive as of right now. Not yet. It's like I said, it wants to, but it's nothing's really materializing as of right now. So the easiest thing, because this is very cluttered to look at, the easiest thing is just to stick to where this line is and where are you in correlation to that line. That's the easiest thing to tell everybody. Flower Town, my guys right up here to the north, the airport, all that area is probably getting hit right now as we speak. I'm going to go back over to the downtown Tullahoma camera so you guys can check it out. Right up there at the top, I'm actually going to take this whole image and I'm going to move, let's see if I can move it. If I pull it out here, I'm going to move that image down for you just a little bit so you can see what's going on and you can see, you can definitely see that shelf cloud coming through. And so I'm just going to kind of scan right here for a second and take a look at these clouds because that's where if you saw any rotation, you would start to see a lowering of any kind of base. Definitely see a rain shaft right over there, right over right over the Clayton's building. And for the wind, that's a nasty looking cloud. I would love to see some pictures. If somebody got a picture of that one, you could send it to me. Post it in the comments. I'd love to see it. Oh yeah. That's definitely a beautiful shelf cloud. It is kind of crazy looking. I would, especially as that thing is coming towards you. It almost looks like some kind of spaceship is moving your way. So this is getting ready to go right into Tullahoma right now. So I'm gonna go over and swap over to Wilson Avenue, see if I see anything else. You're beginning to see a little bit of those remnants right there of the shelf cloud right there. It's kind of giving another view. It's got some really low clouds here, but I don't see anything that's consistent yet with anything that would be rotating. So, and there you got all these people that are getting ready to get hit with this. I mean, they see it coming. Yeah, it's getting hit now. Yeah, Tullahoma's the radar scan is just a little bit behind it. So if I go back over radar, it'll catch up because it takes a couple of minutes for that scan to sweep. So Tullahoma's getting it right now with the severe winds and some hail. I'm noticing little pockets of you may have a little bit of hail in here, right around the airport. 55 coming up, getting really close to my area. Cumberland Springs is probably hailing on some solar panels right now. I know that's a I know that's a contentious point. Pleasant Hill area. Um, so again, these are all the areas. I'm gonna try to keep the whole thing kind of in view for us. So really, from Lake Hills, Tullahoma area, you're starting to see it all. Now we're getting into that part where Moore County crosses over into Franklin County. Pleasant Hill area, Lynchburg. The main event's already past you. So now we're just kind of at this point, kind of grazing on over to Franklin County. And so I'll be talking a little bit more about my Pleasant Grove, my Center Grove, my Highway 130 people, Himes Lane, Cook Road, Rock Creek Road, all you guys, that's going to be headed towards you pretty soon. So just keep that in mind. There we go. Kings Lane's getting hit. Oh yeah, Ovoca's getting hit. Oh yeah, it's barreling down now. Yeah, it's coming down pretty hard. Um, I'm definitely getting some pretty strong wind gust here at HQ for sure. Um, I'm just looking at the camera here. Uh-oh, did my camera go crazy? It did. It sure did. Yeah, it's coming in right now. I was looking off the camera and it wasn't live anymore. I was like, what just happened? Did the camera go out? It did not. There we go. Just trying to pull some stuff up here and get it ready. All right, so I just noticed something. Did you notice that my all my people that are there in Estill Springs and Center Grove? Is it just me, or did we drop the severe thunderstorm warning for that long portion? I knew it was going to expire, but we're going to see if they decide to. I didn't think so. I didn't think he would. Seeing if they're going to renew anything here. You can definitely see where the wind and rain is, and so I'm gonna go ahead real quick since we've got it. I'm gonna go back over to the Tullahoma camera, and all you have to do is look right over here in the corner and you can see where that rain is coming down right now, and you can see it off in the distance. Apparently, the rain is not quite. Oh, here it comes. You can see it. Actually, you can see it moving in right now on the camera. So. I don't know how far behind this delay is. I really don't know. I need to talk to Barstad to see how far, but there comes the rain. You can see it like a sheet is coming right down Lincoln Street. Wind has picked up quite a bit here, and so I'll stick with this camera for just a minute because right now, Tullahoma, you're the only part that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. Some really gusty winds are coming into that northern side. Center Grove area, Pleasant Hill, Ridgeville, Pleasant Grove, it's coming your way, but the National Weather Service has opted not to keep with a severe thunderstorm warning. It is now kind of weakened just below severe limits. So definitely seeing that rain. So I'm going to go over to the Wilson Avenue camera. Let's see what it's looking like over there. This is not live. I don't know why it's not live. Okay, there's live. It's like, what is going on here, Cletus? Definitely some heavy rain there. And it is right now, that's most severe wind is kind of pushing through Tullahoma. Definitely see the tree swaying. That's what I'm looking at on the shot. I don't know if that's what you're looking at, but I'm just checking the trees right over there on the construction zone that hopefully will get finished sooner rather than later. Kind of plumb wild here. Thank you, Mr. Jones. I didn't know exactly what the delay was. I figured it couldn't be perfect. So I'm gonna go back real quick, just to kind of show you guys what is going on because National Weather Service has kind of made some changes while we've been chit chatting, and so they have opted. So anybody that's in that Moore County, Franklin County side, they have opted to go with a special weather statement instead of a severe thunderstorm warning. And that means that the wind speeds have kind of slowed down to about 40. You definitely could get some gusty winds and some hail, but it is below severe limits. So strong storms. Somebody said last night, think of it like a Timu severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. The severe thunderstorm warning still continues, however, up here for Coffee County. Again, the difference of Nashville to Huntsville issuing things. And so I'm gonna go up and down and look here in Tullahoma just to kind of give you a better picture because it's still kind of rushing through here with some heavy rain here and heavy wind. Let's go to storm relative. Yeah. Those heaviest of winds are now kind of pushing off. I would even say right there on the Franklin County, Coffee County, Tullahoma line. So if I'm talking areas right around the golf course, this would be, let's see here. That's Old Essel Springs Road, Inglewood Court, Harton Boulevard, that area. You definitely could see some really heavy gusts there that are really close to that severe limit. So it's kind of zooming in here saying, okay, where would that pocket of severe wind be? And that's where it would be. And so this is a little bit behind right now. So um already just looking off cameras and seeing some flood definitely over there in the work zone. There's already flooding happening. And so there's that newest scan where you could see where really those purple scans kind of lined up with what I was saying with the velocity. And so that's going to be right along that line of Tullahoma. It's most of this wind has pretty much while it still will be windy on the backside, the biggest threat is again right on the line. So you just have to look on the map. Am I located in Tullahoma, west of that line? If I am, I'm basically in the all clear. They'll start to trim this stuff in just a minute. But for right now, it is moving out of Tullahoma as we speak. And then that would just be all my people right there on that extreme eastern side. So if we think about Wagner, that area, the National Guard area, going out toward the base right there at the Kia dealership, Kilgore, all that area been where probably the strongest of the winds came through, according to what I was looking at with velocity scans. So, not to say it hit severe limits, it could have, but that's where the strongest of the winds kind of came through on that side. And a lot of you guys were saying sideways rain. Somebody asked tornado risk. Not anymore, I would say, and I didn't really talk to you guys, not that I cover Manchester, but that storm, my gosh. Okay, now I would say Manchester, there is definitely some rotation there. I don't cover Manchester, but I'm trying to see if we can get a little couplet there. Um, but if you want to start to see what that stuff looks like, you're right there. And so I do have people that may be traveling up to the game. And so if you're in a car and you are going to MTSU, I would tell anybody if you are going into Manchester, you need to kind of wait just a minute and let the bulk of that storm pass. The most dangerous part is right there going into the area where Waffle House and Highway 1 exit 110. That's where the Cracker Barrel is, all the way over into 111. And so that would be where any kind of tornado threat would be. That's why we have the possible tag. But for any of us south of this is not affecting us. It will not affect us. And so it's really tightening up there. Looking at the storm relative velocity scan, it's not as impressive. That's what they're going to look at too, and coincide that with uh, the other one, the velocity scan, before they get a tornado warning. But that's definitely something to think about. So anybody that's in a car headed toward Manchester and you are going to the game at MTSU at 5:45, I would say I would wait a minute, wait about 10 minutes or so before you get into Manchester. It's going to be raining like gangbusters. And so now that's kind of already passed with that latest scan. So they move fast. Somebody was telling, man, these things are scooting. Yes, they are. And so that area of concern is kind of right in there. You can see where it's at. It's actually now north of the interstate. So now that latest scan, and this has already moved beyond this by this point now. And so anybody that's headed to MTSU, if you went up through Manchester, you probably be all right now. But that's definitely, I'm sure the National Weather Service has been looking at that, but it's just not enough. But you can also see where that inflow is. Okay. So I know I'm covering that, but I know I got a lot of Tullahoma people that were going that way. So I wanted to kind of give those people some love, make sure that they know what's going on. Because when you're in your car, you're not able to keep up with that weather like you would normally do. All right. So I would say this: if like for me, I'm in the all clear, even though even though we're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're in the all clear. I'm just looking back to see if anything. And while we've got some discrete sales down here, they're not wanting to do anything. Um, so up and down this line, the most active part of the line was over our particular area. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had some sun right. There was a little pocket, like the machine at the base was working. And it was like right in this area. I could see it on satellite imagery that where it was open. And I would look outside at school and I was like sunny. I was like, oh crap, this is not good. And it provides just enough energy to kind of pulse that up and it uses it up. And really now, if I'm going to go back here and look at velocity on these storms, nothing that's uber impressive, to be honest with you. I'll look from Nashville, but that's way far away compared to us. It's not anything that, like I said, that is really super impressive right now. I think that they have that one little part of the storm that's wanting to pulse up and rotate. All right. I will say this now that I'm live for just a little bit longer. My goal is I'm just going to kind of monitor this stuff out here until it kind of clears itself of Franklin County, and then that's when I'm gonna go ahead and get off because there's really no need at that point. I do want to tell everybody down here. Maybe some people have been asking about Cowan, southern parts of Franklin County. You are now under a special weather statement for this cell that is approaching 231, the Hazel Green areas. You're entering into Tennessee. And let's read a little bit about it. It's got 40-mile-an-hour winds, and it's got a quarter-inch hail. So, and that storm's taking a very similar path to the one did a couple of weeks ago that warranted that severe thunderstorm warning where we had inch and a quarter hail down in that particular area. So, again, if you've joined and you're just like, "Oh man, what happened?" My Tullahoma people, man, things are pretty much through. I'm looking at cameras and not much going on now. It's just wet out there. Really, it's anybody in that line, especially man, it's wanting to rotate so bad. I'm looking at this particular part. This would be the strongest part of the rain moving into that area that is the special weather statement. So that would be 41A. Let's see what that's really close to. Okay, so just north of the drive-in. So that is going to be that area that is kind of um, where Old Essel Springs Road is, kind of meets parts of UT Farm. There's not a ton of houses out this way. I think I can zoom in enough where I can see houses. I can. Um, but that's going to be that general area right there. So that's going to clip to the north of Woods and probably get over on Arnold Village. But it's not anything right now that's warranting a warning. It's strong. It may have a little hail, but it's just a good thunderstorm. Just kind of looking and seeing down through the line. Honestly, all of that really fell apart on the southern end. So if these storms do move through Winchester, because I know I have several people in the Winchester area, I really think that's just going to be a good old soaking rain that we absolutely need. We all need it, actually. So Tullahoma, we're just getting rain at this point. Um, Still up and down that line. That part up there is still the part that to me is the most active part of the storm. And what's happening is the reason why we're maybe not seeing a ton of spin. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, that's trying to pulse back up there. Kind of looks like a dragon or something. Kind of cool. But yeah, that again, that part over there, that stateroom, that's going toward Viola. That would be where the worst. Uh, if I was on a storm that I would just continually watch, it would be that one. But Tullahoma, man, we're good. My Moore County people, you're all clear. You're just getting rain at this point. You're going to have rain on the backside of this, but it's not anything that you need to, be concerned with. Basically, the special weather statements really for this particular part of the line. There's nothing really here that's looking impressive. And if I go on velocity, there's really nothing there. There's a little blip right there. That's getting you close. That's a 60-mile-an-hour gust, according to radar, if it caught it. And that would be, okay, that's 279. That's going to be the north part of Estill right there. So just past UTSI Road and just past Old Estill Springs Road right there. It just kind of caught a little blip of that right there where you see a gust of wind. That's what we talk about. That's all it takes a severe thunderstorm warning. And I doubt that they may actually decide to put a warning on that because it may go away. But that would be right there on the southwest side of Woods Reservoir and that 279 area in Estill. That's where that's headed. Mm. Let's put that back over reflectivity and see. Yeah, it's kind of in that area right there, wasn't it? And sometimes these storms can interact with the lakes a little bit. That definitely that wasn't that the you just never know. I'm wondering what National Weather Service is going to want to do. They're really busy probably looking at that, but they have so many meteorologists on staff there. They'll probably get to the point where they're going to start. They're really good about trimming things once things have passed. That way, it's kind of like their way of saying all clear. It takes a minute to do that. But my Tullahoma people, it's just raining. We're good. Lynchburg, we're good. All of Moore County, you're good. Really, the concern is even not really Estill. It would be North Estill going over Woods right now. That's where that storm is. So my Arnold Village people, they would be getting plummeted right now. Did I mention it's going to be like in the 20s next week? As if you couldn't get crazier weather. Spring break for me is going to be winter break, apparently. Let me get myself out of the way for just a minute so you can see it. And these storms are going away from this camera at Woods, and so yeah, that's definitely the front of it. You can see these little clouds right here moving along. You can see the rain, and so that's a pretty eerie kind of sight. And so what you're looking at here, just so you guys know, you're going, oh man, there's a funnel cloud. Da, da, da. This is just called scud, um, or what we like to call an SLC, scary looking cloud. That's what that is. It's not anything you need to be concerned with. So I have no sound. Oh, I may have hit a button, but you should be good. You should be hearing me now. I had to turn some things off and on for you to be able to do that. So hear me talk right now. So I'm gonna go back to my radar got muted. So let me get back out of here. That's interesting. My radar muted itself. I want to have to figure out why my software keeps doing that. It's like YallBot keeps messing up. All you're looking at right here. Oh, you can see the wind pumping in. That is on the backside of Woods, right there at UTSI. This is where the main building is, and so you're looking at what I call scary looking clouds. They're scud clouds. You're looking at them. They look kind of creepy, but nothing's rotating. Okay, and so that's what you're trying to look for. Can you see a rotation in these clouds? And you can't. Um, it's just some condensation that is happening just below the LCL. So that's interesting as it's going behind you guys. So let's go ahead. Where'd my radar go? Where you at? No, I don't need that. Oh, there we go. I had to click that. Sorry. I was like, what do I need to do here? So you're looking at that right there, passing through Woods, and that to me is going to be really the it. Um, So we've got another 28 minutes for this. I think these storms will maybe out of here before then, because really what ends up happening is any of these storms on the backside here, they are really just garden variety showers, because the atmosphere has already taken any kind of instability, any kind of energy at that point. That storm still has that notch. It's been wanting to do it for a while. It's looked like that almost from Botto Hollow over here all the way. It just can't get enough to rotate. It wants to. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't. So just really focus on this tiny area here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that really is out of my viewing area at this point. It's already past the Air Force Base. It's approaching that I-24 corridor as you head down to the mountain. Um, and then you've got that special weather statement. Really, for that, this part is starting to fade a little bit too. I got somebody watching on YouTube said, where see if it'll actually pull up. Oh, it's not doing what I want it to do. It's not showing up really big, but it says where I live is crazy. Oh, it kind of pulsed back up there from scan to scan. Let's go back and let's see if we can see the backside of this storm. That's what we're looking at. Let me go to the screen only so you can see everything. Let me pull that part out of the way. So we're staring at the backside of that storm, which is relatively low precip. I mean, there's some rain. You can see it on camera. And you can see those winds moving pretty rough, especially those winds that are right here in front. And a different layer, cloud layer. Again, that's that scud looking stuff. Again, nothing's, you know, go, hey, whoa, look over here. That's got to be a funnel. No, not really. It's got to be rotating. Okay. A rotating wall, you start seeing that wall cloud, you start seeing the rotation. Nothing's really rotating right now. And you're getting a good look at it because it's going like almost just away from you, like straight. So you're going to be able to really see any of that rotation that's happening. So it's kind of giving us a good idea of what's going on. So thankful for cameras like this. That can really give us an eye, a real view, a storm spotter's view, what I used to do for the longest. Give you a good idea of what's going on. And so I go back over here, dew point, all that stuff. Yeah, definitely. Relative humidity is probably close to 100% at this point. Um, there we go. I told you they'd trim it back, and they did. That is that storm right there, wanting to get a little cray cray on us. I mean, it's definitely it's pulsed. Um, let's see here. I'm trying to find something for us here. See if I can get a different view of it. Where's that at? Okie dokie. Artichoke. I want to see. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I want to view and map. I'm trying to find us a good camera here angle of this. That would be toward Pelham. So I'm trying to. You're not going to be able to see it. I pull. Oh Lord, my computer did not like that. I was just pulling in right here at Pelham exit to see what we could see, but right now there's not really much we're going to be able to see right this very second from the TDOT SmartWay maps of that storm. And so again, it's kind of broken. That's interesting looking. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, nothing's really super duper impressive here um, from the radar. So Tullahoma, I told you we've been clear for a while. The National Weather Service has lifted that severe thunderstorm warning. And really, truthfully, the only part of this entire special weather statement that needs to be concerned with a special weather statement would be this area right here. These are good old garden variety storms. And just watching, I'm just watching the paint dry at this point. Oh, Center Grove, it's already really done with you guys. You got a little rain. Somebody just said Center Grove. If you're watching live, make sure you are. It's already past you. So that's why a lot of times when I throw the radar on like this, I have the timestamp up there so you can see exactly what time it is. So I just got a couple more minutes, and once this thing kind of crosses over, we're gonna call it a night. We don't have any severe weather expected over the next week or so, which is good. But typically, March is one of our most active seasons, especially this time of the year and this season that we have. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I do want to say this. If you, I'll go back to screen only for a minute. Just so you guys know, anytime that you're on my page and you interact with me, so if you're not on my Facebook page, you need to be. Anytime you see the alerts that look like this right here, that is all. That's all just automated stuff from me. So that all automatically comes out. So there's a lovely live stream of me. But yeah, all of this right here is all automated. So which is good because it's going to alert you at 2 o'clock in the morning when I may be asleep. Somebody asked for Estel. Estel, everything went to the north of you. Really, the most concerning part of that storm, the most strongest, or just the strongest in general. So Estel's just getting some good old garden variety rain. And Tullahoma, it has completely stopped raining on us. We've got a little gap here between the next little band of rain, but none of that severe. You can see just with that. Now, my Huntland people, I've kind of hadn't talked about y'all for a little bit because it hadn't got to y'all, but you do have another storm down here that is still warranting a special weather statement. And since, HTX, the iTop, the next rate is right, or the Doppler is right there. Let's see what's going on here. I don't see anything that's concerning on that as far as rotation is concerned. If it's wanting to do anything, nah, not really. It's just going to have some gusty winds and some pea-sized hail at 1/4 of an inch. Somebody's asking about storms. So here's the deal. When you look at this line right here, it's easy to spot. You can tell. I mean, you can tell just by colors. This section is a lot more vivid than this section. And so here's the deal. Once this line gets through, okay, your severe threat is over. Really, the only severe threat that really exists is really past any of our any of my coverage area. If you're in Essel Springs, if you're in Winchester, if you're even in Huntland, Huntland probably has the chance of seeing the most strong storm. It's not severe. None of my viewing area is under a warning of any kind. It's only special weather statements, which I don't ever go live with special weather statements. Don't need to. The only reason I am is because we had a severe thunderstorm warning that was pretty much finished. So once this line goes out, you're going to get a little clearing, and so that line's going to move through in the next 30 minutes or so. And then once the evening rolls around, you've got some rain over here on the back side. And so just I'll show you from a composite there. You can see what's going on. And really, truthfully, if you look and say, okay, hey, where's the severe stuff? It's really up here in Pittsburgh, in parts of Miles stomping. Well, no, I'm more of a Huntington, but West Virginia. For us, we've got a little bit of rain on the backside. Let me turn the cyclone ports off. Hang on just a minute. So we'll get some of that stuff off. So you got a bit of clearing. There's a little bit more rain happening over here on the backside of this, but none of this is severe. And so this will start moving its way through. It'll probably move through the evening hours, and be out. I think what I saw. Let me see here. I'll pull up. Let's see. Log in. I'll pull up HRRR and see what it wants to do here. And so it's got stuff moving out. Come on. There we go. It's got this rain kind of sticks with us and moves out. Oh, it's a slow mover, it says. Interesting. It's got it moving out after midnight. All that rain. So the good thing is most of this rain is not super intense like what we had over here in parts of let me change this. In parts of our area with that warranted all those severe thunderstorm warnings. So there you go. Kind of give you a better idea of what you're looking at. Winchester, they got nothing. You guys were spared of everything. You weren't even under a severe thunderstorm warning, and you didn't even get included in a special weather statement. It seems to be that Winchester's got split. Now you're getting some rain going to come in here, but none of that is severe. You may get a little gusty wind, but none of that is severe. It's just a good old downpour. Um, No, somebody asked if there's another line. There will be lines of rain, but nothing severe. This is it. Um, it got through. I said 5 o'clock yesterday, if I remember correctly, and it's 4:45. So pretty good on timing. The National Weather Service said 4 o'clock. They were dead on when it was going to hit here. But all this rain behind us, it's another line, but it's not severe. Just going to have some good old rain. I think they just want to let this thing expire. I don't think I have anybody that's over here in that extreme part of Franklin County, the Shady Grove, um, the Wilder Chapel, the Alto, the 64 corridor as you're headed toward Pelham. Um, so come look back up here. You can definitely see the part of the storm i- that's most intense is right in here. You can just tell where the vivid colors are to say, okay, what's got more strength? And so that's well to our north and east for us. And so a lot of wind energies why these you start seeing these change shapes so much. You're like, wow, they're not staying in a straight line. It's like from scan to scan, they change. There's a ton of wind shear out there, a ton. And so it does really change the formation of the shapes of these storms just from scan to scan. Just kind of seeing the bigger area. All right, so I'm going to go back so where you can see me for just a minute here. So we're going to be wrapping up here in the next couple of minutes. There's really no need to carry on coverage too much longer, just because everything, like I said, if you're my Franklin County people, Winchester, you've just been waiting for rain forever. Cowan, Swanee, you're up next, but it's like I said, it's nothing that's terribly destructive. It's just good old rain, some heavy rain. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling out and about this Wednesday. Huntland, that storm that was producing a little bit of hail is probably to your north at this point. Looking down here. And so I'm just kind of waiting for really this to kind of pass. So, like I said, the next 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So, if you guys, I don't, you use whatever radar app you want. I'm using Radar Omega. I go back and forth between it and WeatherWise. If you want something that's super, super easy to use and all you got to do is get Radar Scope. I've had it for years. I have it on this computer. I just didn't use it with this. Didn't feel the need to. It does everything you absolutely need to do. It's probably the easiest. And if you follow anybody with weather, you've probably seen them use Radar Scope. But um, they're all good. It's just okay. What do you want to use? What do you want to learn? Some have more features than others. Um, but I like Radar Omega for the tracking. The way they do storm tracks is pretty spot on. And when y'all see me do that and I zoom into your area, it's really easy for you guys to see the overlay right over the top of it. But there's other ones out there that are good. They pretty much all do the same thing anymore. They're all just trying to compete for the same space, to be honest with you. All right, so I'm gonna start winding it down. It is 4:50. I have been on for an hour and 16 minutes. We had some severe weather peek its way through. I'll keep monitoring these storms, and should we end up getting any kind of severe thunderstorm warning on them, I'll definitely pop back in. I always operate on news is good news from me, and so if you don't hear anything, you're good. But I thank you guys for watching. If you're interested and you want to support the page, there's ways to do that. I This is a side gig, and it's for the longest time it was purely volunteer work, and so just want to thank you guys. And bingo, they have now taken part of that storm and put it under a special weather statement. So even that storm that is off to our north, they're going to go ahead and say it is weakened below the severe limits at this point, and so it no longer warrants a severe thunderstorm warning. I fully expect that this warning right here will go away. So, with that being said, I know we still have some active weather going out. Don't think, Winchester people, I forgot about you. It's just that none of it's severe. So enjoy the rain. Be thankful that it didn't get as bad as it could have been. And just because we didn't get severe weather this time doesn't mean we don't get it the next time. So just don't ever let your guard down. That's the worst thing you can do with weather. So, anyways, guys, for here from HQ, this is Christopher King Weather. I want to thank you guys for all your support. You guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and I'll be watching the weather and keep you advised as necessary.